All right, all right. Oh, hello. Okay. I'm ready. So yeah, what do we have for today in price? As we can see, we opened with a quite large new week opening up to the downside and traded up into the upper quadrant of it and already sold off quite aggressively, attacking this low here, next, and then the sell liquidity below those two relative equal lows. That's kinda the order of importance now. So basically the bias is bearish, the order flow is bearish until we stay below this new week opening up. That's basically what I'm anticipating. All right. So I'm just checking the settings here again. If the audio is correct, should be though. One. Hello. Okay, should be fine. Alright, so I guess I'll leave the daily chart as it is. And we just watch and monitor the 15-minute and 5-minute here, maybe switching to 1 minute from time to time. As I really want to keep in mind this perspective, the daily one, so let's do it this way. Daily chart here, 1 minute chart here, and a 5-minute chart here. Yeah, that should do the work pretty well. Alright, so from the overnight Asia we had quite a large range to the downside, now trading into the London Open session, which clearly already got way more consolidated as this here, way more high resistance in the delivery. So I'm not super excited about the London right now, but yet due to the volatility, due to the war behind the scenes, we might see still some price runs unfold. Nonetheless, the near-term draw is here, 24,449 and a quarter. So it's roughly 50 handles away from the market price right now, and that's what I'm watching the price gravitate to. We have a nice little pool of relative equal lows right here, so let me annotate that. So yeah, from now on, I guess, or I believe I sketched the expectations, the bias, the draw on the higher time frame, and now I will be just working or having some fun with the 1 minute chart, 5 minute chart, reading or trying to read the price as it's printing, basically. So that's my idea. That's what I want to do now. So we are during the London Open silver bullet right now. It's not clean at all. It's really not clean since the 2 a.m. Since the 2 a.m. price was really hard overlapping with those candles here. So this is classic high resistance, liquidity run conditions. What I like is those relative equal highs here. So there is some buy side liquidity that I can measure. So far we absorbed a lot of sell side. Those relative equal lows, those lows taken, and now we are engineering relative equal lows, triple relative equal lows ahead of a higher time frame draw. So that will be a likely future draw on price. We do have a CB right here, so that's something I want to annotate because we closed above it. Therefore I'm watching if it can offer any inversion aspect to it to maybe send it towards those equal highs here. So that's kind of like the near term source. That's what I'm watching. I'm not really in a rush to do anything and stuff. The climate is clearly volatile, and clearly a lot can happen still. Like at any point of time shit can happen, so be mindful of that. But at the same time, that's a great time to watch and study how the price actually develops, because large moves are coming, that's for sure. And yeah, it will likely it won't likely be just one large day. We are likely to see some like series of large range days probably. Therefore there is no need to rush anything, right? Nonetheless, we're trading into this inversion fair value gap here and giving initial reaction higher out of the upper quadrant, I believe. Let me measure this. Yeah, that's exactly the upper quadrant. The bodies are respecting it, and the price is approaching this short-term high. So that's something that if it can continue, then the buy side relative equal highs here is like very obvious. And yeah, because it's high resistance liquidity run conditions here, it's quite fair to expect that the target, the draw might be delayed and we might see a deeper retracement. And the deeper retracement running those relative equal highs here would be pretty solid, I would say. It definitely makes sense. It might also fail, right? But that's what I'm watching right now. That's what I want to see, if we can stretch towards these relative equal highs here. Generally, I'm not bullish on the market, right? So I don't want to go long, but it's like fair enough to study and watch if it can develop at all, right? Because we are bearish higher time frame, it could fail, but nonetheless, the perspective is I'm thinking here. That's what I want to see for a session, if possible. But if not this session, then the next session, I would still watch this level. It's very important. Large pool of liquidity. That's where the orders are. All right. So nice little immediate rebalance here on this candle. If I would be bullish, I would be really liking to go in and attack those equal highs, but because I'm not going to do so. But yet it's good to observe how the price will trade around it here, because if it's good, it should repel price quickly higher and attack those relative equal highs like fast with large ranges. And it still might do it, right? But nonetheless, that's not what I'm interested with. Mainly the fact that the price already like sold off a lot since Asia, and I believe there is a lot of people who are going to chase the price lower and be just, you know, waking up in London and just selling at the market just because maybe they suspect it's bearish too, right? But if they do that here, it's reasonable to see a deeper retracement and just get them out. So that's what the short-term relative equal highs buy set is basically. It's running on any trailing stop losses or new stop losses. New positions, new short positions considered here, right? The initial run lower enticed that, and now there is a lot of buy side liquidity resting above those relative equal highs, which, by the way, it's very vital for the price to come back, stop them out, and then turn over and like offer the continuation, right? Unseating the people that might be profitable or might be correct about the overall direction of the price run, right? So it looks very convenient to run those. And then we already have the engineered relative equal lows here, right? So this is also like important pool of liquidity that will be a factor in the future, especially after we consume the buy side liquidity. But that's is remaining to be seen. So let's see. So far price is really nicely stretching towards this. So yeah, anyone who is short from anywhere from here or higher but having stop loss above this might get a little bit uncomfortable at this moment, seeing this rally up. And also because this high is lower than this high, this is a very good candidate for running the liquidity, even if it's higher time frame bearish, right? So this basically turns into a market maker buy model here, right? With the original consolidation, distribution, redistribution, low smart money reversal, low risk accumulation runs, and this is where the buy side resides. So yeah, if we measure the from the high to the low, we went above the 75% of this entire range, right? So if it were to fail and not clear the buy side, it would need to do it here and like react aggressively, which because it's higher time frame bearish could always happen, right? So that's why going long on this is slightly more risky, because it could stop here and just roll over lower and not take them out here. Technically, it's still to be seen, but that's like the risk of it, or scenario or another scenario of like this market maker buy model, because it could fail and not clear the buy side. I personally still think this is a good candidate, but if it will fail, that's like another information for me that would indicate even further weakness near term. But nonetheless, we traded into this small little fair value gap here. Alright, and price is already reacting higher, and if it's good, it should quickly just respond, take this short-term high and run the buy side like fast, because again the algo doesn't want people to take their orders off, right, before being taken out. Okay, another pass into this inefficiency, short-term low taken, and there is a small little inefficiency here too. So this is like somewhat of a last line of defense here. If this is failing, that's a little bit of an issue, but we tapped into it and we rejected like strongly, and if it's able to close like this, I believe the buy side should be like a quick sudden push higher, right? So looks pretty convenient. Nice reaction from this little fair value gap here. The bodies stay higher, the close is way higher, so the buy side should be still in the realm of reasonable as a target for the near term at least, right? And that's what we see, stretching like aggressively, strongly higher with large ranges, like really going for them, after them, really going after them. So yeah, that's fine, I guess. That's pretty cool. Very close to it, fall short. I would still like to see push higher, but you know, we'll see what we get. So this long week here on the premium side, this is something that is important now, because what we would do, we would measure the strength of this asset, which is Nasdaq Micro, based on how price will trade back into this. So basically, if price can return back into this range of this week, we want to measure if it can close above the 50%. If it does, then higher is likely to resume. If we fail, then we might leave this intact for now. So this is kind of like the risk that is incorporated there at the moment. Hello Money Glitch, hello, welcome to the stream. All right. Oh, grats Money Glitch. That's good to hear. That's fair. Good results, nonetheless. So nice to hear that. Yeah, the volatility that is likely coming will be quite large, or way larger than the standard day in the past couple of months. So like keep that in mind, and likely like deleverage if possible, to, you know, preservation is key at the time. So yeah, what do we have here? We traded down into this fair value gap here, but if you look closely, we failed to touch the high, and price closed higher and is already bumping to the low of this premium week. So to me, this is still quite convenient to run the buy side. And now I'm watching this candle as we trade into this premium week. So preferably I want to see close above the red 50% line. If we can do that on the first pass, the buy side is like very probable to be taken out. We did close above the lower quadrant. I'm sorry, that's fine. We watch the next candle here. We already traded to the high, so it's very still likely to purge that buy side on the near term, which will also be a market maker buy model completed with that. So there we go, we got the relative equal highs buy side, small little fractal completed, and now we're basically needing to wait and see what we do. Because I'm higher time frame bearish, the preferred outcome, the preferred next chain of events I would like to see is tap into it, like push it like this, and then quickly reject, like fail to find any ground above it. That's what I would like to see. Like we did it, and now like quick rejection, quick fail, quick purge, displacement lower. That's what I want to that's what I'm watching, basically. That's what I'm studying, if we can see that. Because if yes, then I will be very confident with this minor sell side and this larger daily sell side liquidity pool that it will be drawn to next. So yeah, that's basically what I want to see, or that's what I'm watching for. If that doesn't happen, it's okay, it's fine. I will just require more informations before I settle on a specific draw or what it's going to do next. Right now we traded back to the consecutive encroachment of this premium week, and we gave initial response on the short term, but nonetheless it can just hang around here for a little bit. Is there anything on the upside I would particularly like? Not really, to be honest. I mean, maybe this imbalance if it goes like very deep, but yeah, so I can maybe annotate this. But yeah, I would prefer to see it stay as it is. But that's like, if we go crazy on the upside, I would consider this. Nonetheless, back to the business. Which software do I use for backtesting? Yeah, I believe I don't, or I never used a special dedicated software for anything like that. I just use like the trading view or any platform or application that I have like access to, which has a good charting and a lot of data, and that's what I use. Alright, so I'm watching this consecutive encroachment of this premium week. As we tap into it once, rejected, twice, rejected, third time, we close below it. So that's not a sign of strength to me, and that's what I want to see. That's what I want to see. I would like to see a failure here and start trading lower, because as I said, my draw is lower still, and that's what I want to preferably see. All right, so what did we get, right? We tapped above the buy side here, relative equal highs, completed a market maker buy model, and now rejected that initially, rejected that buy side. So I'm watching this BC here at 349, because this BC is somewhat of a part of a bearish breaker, potential bearish breaker, a high, low, higher high. So that's also like an imbalance that is important to me, and preferably if we can see price drop below it, right, on the closing basis, I would anticipate it to act as a bearish inversion for value gap, and that's That's something I'm watching if it can happen. Right, so let me take this one off for a little bit and let me annotate this busy, because that's predominantly what I'm watching right now. This color. So I'm basically watching if we can close below it. And if it can act as inversion for Y gap afterwards. That's what I'm watching. It's either going to happen and I will have like further protocol in action, or it will not happen and price will just meander around it or go higher, right? And then I'm like less interested in chasing that, and I will just wait probably for the next session though. But yeah, everything is basically there in terms of the protocol, and regardless what happens, I can work with what's there. Alright, so we already traded to this BC here a few times, and few times price already failed. Therefore, I'm anticipating that it will actually close below it soon, and that might act as potential inversion. Short bias is long term. Yes, that's my long-term bias for now. Higher time frame bias, that's a bias that is the most long-term. You could say that, because watch the daily chart, right? We have still like a lot of range on the downside, and until this is like delivered, whatever the time it will be, I'm basically bearish, and it can still go way beyond this sell side here on the daily, but nonetheless this is the nearest, the most low-hanging fruit objective, the easiest one to get probably, and yeah, that's what I'm watching. So we are trading below this BC on a week basis. So if we do manage to close inside of it with that week, you would need to react very quickly if it's good. If it's like bearish, it will need to overtake this week in the next candle or two. So let's see what we get. Okay, looks like we wicked below it and closed at the high. So now if it wants to go lower this week, I need to see it like being demolished, like quickly close below the low of the week, at least the consecutive encroachment, and then and only then I will like resume watching potentially towards the sell side liquidity here and that larger pool of liquidity here. So yeah, if we see discount sensitivity like this and price trades higher, I'm not interested in it. I'm not chasing that. I'm not really like excited about it, because it's against the higher time frame bias that I hold for the time being, and that's fine. I don't mind missing anything like that or on the upside, because I trust or I believe that the larger, more magnitude and more cleaner price run will be on the downside eventually. Might not happen this session, but I will look with the same idea the next session or the next day session and stuff until proven otherwise. Which by the way, I'm like having this free Telegram channel, and the main purpose of that is that I can like still communicate what I think besides the stream, right? So if I said something on stream, had some idea on stream, but the environment or the circumstances changed after the stream, and I have no longer a way to like communicate that to you, I can do it through the Telegram like quickly, and I can like tell you what's on my mind at the moment, at the time, same way as I would be streaming, but I just do it like faster and quicker, and I can keep you up to date with my expectations, and that's all. And yeah, again, it's not a sales pitch. I'm not selling anything. I'm not affiliated. I never was. I was streaming like a lot back in the past, but nonetheless I'm just back because apparently I love it. Apparently I love the price action, and I love engaging with it nonetheless. Okay, so what's on the table? We had this busy, which I was like willing to see it act as inversion, meaning close below it. We failed to do so. We offered this week below it, and I said if it's bearish, it has to murder this week, the next candle or the next after that. Did it happen? No. It traded to the consecutive encroachment and reacted higher, attacking the short-term buy sell liquidity, which is fine. I don't mind that. It's just you know, it wasn't bearish at the time, so I basically avoided getting into something that wasn't there. So yeah, we got this another poke above the buy side, taking the short-term high here, and we are basically going back into this busy one more time. So again, what I'm watching if we can close below it. If we don't, it can meander around, it can trade even higher near term, and that's fine. But this is not something I'm generally interested in at the time or at the moment. And again, what I'm like reading, what I'm talking is purely my personal opinion, and the goal is, or what I'm trying to do is just being honest with what I think. So if I see something in price, I will tell you what I think about it, and regardless on if it delivers or not, you will hear my honest thought. And I guess that's most important, right? Because I'm not trying to be or end up being right regardless of what will happen. I'm just trying to read the price in a way that follows the protocols, that follows the rules, and follows the logic, and that's all I'm trying to do. But alright, price is poking higher again, deeper purge into this buy sell liquidity. I'm watching this short-term high being taken out. A lot of like clustering price action here, like a lot of back and forth price action around this area. So it's very, very efficient. So yeah, let's keep in mind that we have this large new week opening up to the downside, right? And even though I'm preferring bearish bias, I'm preferring lower, right? Let's play the devil's advocate here. With the volatility that we have in the marketplace, with the uncertainty that we have in regards to the W in the Middle East, we could see price return back into this new week opening up. I could see that as potential, and if that's going to be the case, this fair value gap specifically would be a point of interest on the upside. So it's the 55 minutes, right? 55 minutes after midnight New York time. If it wants to return back into this new week opening up, which it can, admittedly, it can do it. So if it wants to trade higher, I'm not going to force shorts just because, you know, I like the higher time frame draw lower. That's not what it is. If it wants to return back into this new week opening up as premium, it can do it. But then I will like very strictly be watching or observing or demanding premium sensitivity off of the lower half of the new week opening up, right? So that's like the next procedure in play, basically, because with what I see in here right now, with the fact that we've taken those relative equal highs and we so far failed to displace lower, it makes me think that they want to take it for a deeper premium, which in this case the most logical and the most obvious is actually the new week opening up, because it's large, it's inefficient, it's still imbalanced in a great part because we only traded to the upper quadrant, and we have still like a lot of time during the day to like trade. Plus, let's say I'm wrong, let's say it will be bullish for the next couple of days, then the new week opening up will also tell what it is, right? So regardless what happens, an intel will be derived from that, basically. All right. So no problem, because it didn't offer any significant displacement lower after taking the buy set here. I'm quite fine, or it's quite fair to expect, or at least give it a try. Like, it might still fail to reach that new week opening up, and that will be Intel too. But if it wants to do so, then I'm fine with it. I'm all for it. It will just build a deeper premium before potential rotation lower, which we already engineered sell-side liquidity here, and it's above or in close proximity to that higher time frame daily old low, which that's enormous pool of sell-side liquidity, meaning that if in fact it would be bullish, I would first take the sell side here and then run it higher, right? Because otherwise we are leaving this enormous pool of sell side liquidity intact for no reason, quite. or quite no reason, because if we were so close to it, we could just absorb it and then go higher, but we didn't do that. We left it in place. We sold the idea that this is support. We sold the idea that it's not going lower, and that's it's bullish now, right? And I suspect that's partially true, because in near term, in short term, it might be looking a little bullish. It might reach some deeper premium like this new week opening up. As far as this fair value gap, I'm like completely fair with that. But overall, I believe the rotation will be lower eventually, even if not this session, the next session or the 9:30 open. Definitely, if this is still in price, if this is still in place, that's where my attention would go, basically immediately. So yeah, that's what it is. So I believe in this type of volatile, or like larger volatile and larger risk environment, in terms of like the unexpected potential news in regards to the W in the Middle East, because there could be like bombs dropping on some stuff that is crucial, for example, and that can cause a reaction, or an unexpected reaction too, right? Which is an additional risk at the moment that we as traders need to consider, at least consider, but preferably adjust to, nonetheless. Alright, so basically we are stretching up higher here. The most meaningful and last down candle before this run up is here. So I would consider this opening price as important in terms of if it's indeed bullish, or as long as it stays somewhat above it, it could potentially still reach higher, at least near term. But if we trade to it or fail at it, then I will resume looking for the sell side. Right now, nothing in here really makes me want to do it. I basically just don't want to force anything on price if it's not there. And in this environment, forcing something that's not there is very, very, very dangerous and is problematic, right? Because it will drain the mental capital and the ranges that will clearly be going large. That will be also like draining the mental capital at its highest. So it is what it is, I guess. Nonetheless, we were running lower all the Asia into London, now making some sort of a low and retracement back into this range. And because the new week opening up is in close proximity, that's always a potential draw. That's always a potential on the upside. And with the price action right here, right now, that's what I think might happen. That's what I'm watching near term as potential objective. Doesn't mean it will go there, because it's against the higher time frame bias. In my opinion, it's even better if it fails to go there, but I have to at least give it a chance to do so, and that's what it is. So yeah, remember, around 24,710 is like line in the sand. If it wants to draw higher, that's where I'm watching for, basically, or that's what I'm watching for, basically. Another displacement through this short-term high here. Yeah, it really looks prompt to go there, basically, near term. So yeah, I want to measure the bullish order flow here. That's why I noted this down candle here before this up move. It's a bullish, potential bullish order block, as we traded above a short-term high with displacement here, or somewhat of a displacement. If it's continuously reaching higher, we should see some measure of support in the upper half of this down candle here. So that's what I'm basically watching and eyeballing the mean threshold near term. Very small little imbalance linked to it there, but yeah, it's already quite an extended rally that took quite some or quite few buy side liquidity pulls along the way in existing bearish market. So that's not something I would necessarily want to like engage on, but I'm studying the potential response from here towards the new week opening up, and specifically a small little imbalance that was left inside of it there. So if the order flow is strong, we already traded to it here, and we should be reacting or repelling price higher like quickly in the next or next after candle to the upside. If we fail, that's also an insight, because if we trade below this low on a closing basis, this high, low, higher, high, that will be basically a bearish breaker. And because the higher time frame is bearish, it's something to be considered at all times, regardless where it forms. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. So also if you ask yourself where was the most recent run on the sell stops inside of this rally, we would find out that there was really no lows being taken out uh, besides this here, this short-term low here taken here, right? So all of the sell side is being basically left in place, right? So why would they do that? And the answer would be, the most likely answer would be, because they don't want to consume the sell side liquidity while going higher. They want to leave it there for the future, right? So in that case, they want to see some measure of premium being reached first that they can sell to, and then they will already know that the counterparty is there waiting, because it was all left from here. So this is where the sell side is on like the major sell side is here now, and no sell side liquidity runs still, after we already taken like many buy side liquidity pools on the short term and larger buy side liquidity pools here. So someone is selling to the buy stops, someone is selling above those highs. Alright, so we swept above this high, and only with a weekend already failing. So 1, 2, 3 higher highs right here. So at least a retracement would be reasonable in this area, especially as we had not seen any run on sell side liquidity since quite some time. So near term sell side is here, like a very minor pool of liquidity. I will annotate that, and it's pretty much relative equal to this low. So on the near term that would be reasonable, and I believe that will give some insight if we can reach that. Because basically if they want to see the new week opening up still, which is very reasonable because we are in close proximity to that, then after taking this short-term sell side here, price would need to repel higher, if they do it at all, right? But yeah. Alright, so I'm watching if we can see price tap into this short-term sell side, minor sell side here. I believe it makes the most sense because we already taken buy side so many times and no sell side was taken at all inside of this price swing higher. they can obviously just take it higher regardless without taking any lows. But if I would be let's say bullish, if I would want to see it return back into this new week opening up here, to engage that in any way, I would require to see a run on short-term sell side first. If that wouldn't happen, then I wouldn't engage it because the probabilities would be low. But yeah, that's just like studying this micro market structure here, or giving it some thought. All right, so we also are running at the risk of getting into a consolidation here. So I really don't want to stay inside of this little range. I want to leave it ASAP, to be honest. And it looks like we are going to tap the buy side again. So 1, 2, 3, 4 higher highs in a row, while no sell side liquidity was taken on the downside, meaning they are really taking this to premium, like really willing to take it high. And again, someone is selling, in my opinion, on the smart money camp, so to say. Someone is selling to the willing buyers above those short-term highs, selling premium before eventually it gives up the ghost and clears the sell side down there. So yeah, again, so let's recap it at the moment. So what is the situation right now? How I see it: the higher time frame daily bias, I suspect, is lower, and I suspect we will be drawing towards this yellow line with the eyeball. So my higher time frame daily bias is bearish at the time. Now, going into the 1 minute chart here, I was already outlining all of this, but nonetheless, I believe that this sell side here and this larger daily old low sell side here is the likely draw for price for today. But at the moment, what we see a measure of running against that bias, that higher time frame bias, right? Which I'm trying to kinda predict, kinda calculate on how far can it actually go higher before turning and selling off, potentially, right? It's not a guarantee. That's what I just suspect with highest degree of probability. Therefore, I suspect on the near term that it might want to draw up into this new week opening gap, especially this fair value gap here on the 1 minute, which is the 55 minutes after midnight candle on the 1 minute. Relative equal highs buy side and this inefficiency. That's what I'm watching. If it wants to seek that premium before potentially turning lower. So I'm kind of like managing the higher time frame bias, the higher time frame expectancy with the lower time frame structure and situation, because it doesn't matter that the daily is bearish if the 1 minute is just refusing to offer any bearishness at the time, right? And they just want to seek premium. So I have to allow for that. And that's fine. There is nothing wrong about it. Apparently, trading involves a lot of waiting, and that requires patience. And yeah, rushing is not what I pursue in here. So look at the trend line phantom in here. Perfect touches here. So this is very, very, very suspect. This is very suspect. And I don't think it will stay like that. That will be purged. Sooner or later, I believe that will be purged. Alright, so I hope I explained myself relatively clear. And yeah, price is just meandering, compressing a little, so I'd suspect it could like see some larger ranges towards the new week opening up. Everything speaks for it, to be honest, and that's what I'm expecting next, basically. And yeah, I might do another stream later today, maybe the morning session, because it might be actually way more interesting. And yeah, I think that's going to be it for the London here. I kind of don't want to overstay and burn too much energy in the morning here, as we might get like a lot of volatility later. So yeah, thanks for watching today, and I will be in touch with you guys either per Telegram or stream later today. So stay safe and see you.